Welcome to the electric world of lure coursing, where you'll find sighthounds doing the thing they were born to do and having the time of their life. In the late 1800s, coursing changed from hunting events to races using live game. This made the sport popular to the public. In this version, sighthounds were let loose to chase live game in an enclosed area. It was referred to as closed park coursing and open field coursing. This version is no longer practiced in the US. In comes the 1920s with a mechanical system and a racetrack replacing most live game races for greyhounds and whippets in the US, Great Britain, and Europe. Limitations to this was in the turns and the agility part of the coursing that spectators enjoyed watching and was just not there anymore. In comes the 1970s. Really was the decade for dog sports. Lyle Gillette, a California breeder for Borzoi and Salukis, sought to create a coursing system that was portable, only used about 5 to 7 acres, and was not dependent on live prey to motivate the dogs. He ended on the design of a mechanical lure holding a plastic bag or a bit of artificial fur hooked up to pulleys set in the fields. This created courses of 600 to 1,000 yards. And this was the best of both worlds. Spectators could see the agility and turning ability of the dogs, and they were able to play in smaller areas. By 1973, Gillette and other sighthound enthusiasts in California had organized lure coursing under the American Sighthound Field Association, ASFA, with hopes of AKC recognizing the sport, which happened just under 20 years later in 1991. Alright, so history's fun and all, but how do we actually get started in lure coursing? Here's a few options. Most of them involve your dogs being physically fit enough to run long distances and being properly conditioned beforehand. You might also want to make sure that your dog is properly socialized around other dogs and people, as they will be running off leash, and muzzles aren't required. We've highlighted FastCat before, which is lure coursing but sprinting. Those trials might be easier to find and introduce your dog to the concept of the lure, but most dogs with a high prey drive will latch on to the sport. This was a sport created to feature the sighthound, so all the top dogs in it are sighthounds. If you're not running a sighthound, most trials are probably not going to have an option for you to run, so you'll want to check with that beforehand and maybe go check out FastCat. Lure coursing fulfills the needs of sighthounds, but how so? Sighthounds were bred to hunt by seeing and chasing their prey, unlike your basset hounds and beagles and other scent hounds, which use, scent to find their prey. In a trial, the dogs will run in packs of 3 and are judged on their speed, agility, and endurance, and how they follow the lure. Tests are non-competitive to test the instincts. Trials are competitive and where the points are earned. With the AKC, your dog can earn the following titles: Junior Courser, Qualified Courser, Senior Courser, Master Courser, Field Champion, and Dual Champion. The qualifications for these can be found on AKC's website. Finally, when going to a trial, you'll want to make sure you have a slip leash. I really wasn't able to figure out if dogs can run with a collar on. If they can, I assume it would have to be a flat collar with no tags. You'll want to bring ways to keep your dog cooled off, so much water. Pack what you think you'll need, then double it. For you and the dog, these trials can get hot. And you'll want a blanket/jacket for the dog to run in. This doesn't seem to be a requirement at all trials, but it does appear to be one that you want to have on hand just in case, as not all clubs will have extras. So if you have a sighthound that loves to run and chase, this might just be the perfect sport for you.